Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the emote in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you're not a subscriber or you don't feel like using those emotes, you can just say hi. That also works very well. Don't worry about it. I'm going to turn my mic down because I am peaking when I get I tested the microphone, not excited, and then the stream went live, and I'm excited. So I had to turn that down a little bit. Hope that's okay. Hey Pat, everyone, how are you doing? How y'all doing tonight? Asked Helter Chris Skelter. I'm doing well. We just started the stream. Lashbrook is here. Hi, Lashbrook. We're hoping that a few more folks choose to join us tonight. Maybe they're fashionably late, which is why we're in the intro portion of the stream, where we allow people to come in and as they go. We don't immediately start with the build, but I'm doing good. I took a nap today, which was very good. It was probably necessary, but also just because it's Saturday. Because I did what I can only describe as too much yard work. Lot of prepping, lot of mowing the lawn and emptying the mulcher on the lawnmower, and then going back and then having using the mulcher, but still having to rake from some spots that wouldn't get picked up by that. Real annoying. Sweeping, all kinds of stuff. Did a bunch of cleanup because we had a lot of rain here, and there was a window where we didn't have rain, and I took advantage of that window, which was good. But yeah, did a lot of yard work, which for someone that has an allergy to pollen and grass, not great. So I took a nice nap today, which was cool. Um, yeah, just replying to emails, trying to get a few things done. Audio sounds slightly choppy on my end. Might be my network since I'm on mobile. Anyone else getting the chop? Lashbrook, is it choppy to you? As the only other person who is currently typing anything into chat, I will ask you, Lashbrook, how it sounds to you because it could be Helter. Um, I guess a thing I could do is uh, listen to my own voice, I guess. I'm going to talk right now so I can hear myself in the delay because uh, Lashbrook says fine to me. Yeah, I believe that that is you, unfortunately, Helter. It's all good. It's not bad. I can deal. Well, good. I'm sorry. Um, Twitch mobile is always, it's a little tough to watch on those devices. Also, if you're using a mobile connection instead of a Wi-Fi connection, that also can be tough. But yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. If it becomes an issue and you want to bounce, the VOD will be available and you can watch it at your convenience. Um, we won't have any music in here. There might be some notifications popping up if people, follow or subscribe or anything like that, or give bits and coins. You might get some notifications, but other than that, it should be okay. Um, Speaking of which, in dashboard, I do now have. I can now make things follower only chat, sub only chat, and I can clear chat all from the push of a button in quick actions here on the dashboard for Twitch, which is good. Now, do I think that I will be hate rated? No. I do not believe that I garner enough people to be worth it to make my life miserable via hate raid. Um, but there's always a chance. Curious about the yard work. What kind of mower you rocking? Well, Jam is here. Hi, Jam. So I don't. It's a gas powered mower. I do not remember the brand. It is, it's got a gas mower. You got to move it around. It's your standard lawn mower that I believe my father bought at Home Depot. When I first moved down here, because during the pandemic I have moved in with my folks to be a help, and also they are helping me. Um, and my dad had an electric lawnmower, so we had to plug it in, and it wasn't like a battery, it was plugged in via extension cord. And I did not enjoy using that, and it died a couple months into me being here, and I was pretty psyched about that. Of course, you don't have to get gas for it, which is great, but also you got to remember you constantly have to like maneuver around this long extension cord, It was not great, and I'm glad it's gone. Electric mowers are the worst. Yeah. Also, if the grass is even a little wet, forget it. That is not working. So you've got to mow. You've got to you can't do it early in the morning because there's still going to be dew on the grass. So and that is frustrating because the later in day it gets, the hotter it gets in this particular climate, as in many others. All right, let's see. Um, Hope it's self-propelled pushing the rest. Jam, it is self-propelled. It does move along at a good clip. You don't have to really put your back into it, which is nice. Yeah, it works well as far as gas mowers go. It's a powerful little friend, and it's got the mulcher attachment, which is nice because there are sections that are just going to grow real fast around here. Anyway, I'm talking about lawn care, which is fine. I'm going to check one thing real quick here. All right, that looks like we're going to jump up a little bit there, which is good. All right, I am going to retweet my tweet, and we're going to get moving on the build portion of the stream, which is the main portion of the stream. Intro is the short part. The build part is the long part. And we'll go to the overhead here. As you can see, hey, look, it's the head of Hello Kitty. Don't think about it too hard because you might think that that's weird, but it's not. It's just the head. It's what I've built so far. I did a little bit of panel lining. This kit isn't going to need much. Yes, lawnmower simulator IRL. Um, as many of you know, I am in favor of the fun side of the simulator kind of game. Power Wash Simulator being a fantastic example of what I kind of like. And from what I have seen of Lawnmower Simulator, it's a little too train simulator and not enough like wish fulfillment kind of thing. Um, like House Flipper is just like, hey, if you want to move a thing, you click it a couple times. Like that's kind of what I'm more into. All right, so let's look at that. But I do know people that have enjoyed the lawnmower game. So if it's something you're like into, hell yeah, enjoy it. All right, we're working in blue here. We do not need snipper clips for this. We could theoretically, because this is a package here. Power Wash Simulator looks cool. We should add multiplayer. Yeah, I mean, it's still in early access. That's a possibility. I'm sure there's roadmaps. They have a bunch of stuff they'd like to do in it. So this is a dual pack. We have an entry grade. Entry grade is the kind of the newer thing here. No tools required. There are stickers, but there are not a lot of them. You don't need, pretty simple instructions. Should be easy to construct. That is kind of the goal of entry grades. And then we have an RX-78-2 that is an SD. So that is the kind of chibi kits, the little miniature kits. These are put together, and you can take with some customization that they include, make the Hello Kitty into a Hello Kitty Gundam, and then also you can put the Gundam head on the Hello Kitty body, and that's it's weird that they let you do that, but they do let you do that. So we will be working on this. We're starting with the Hello Kitty figure, and then we'll move on there. Entry grades, for the most part, are the defining feature of these kits is that let's see, we need this part here. Is that there's not a lot of posability, but also a entry grade is going to run you between $10 and $15. They're your first kits. The very best entry grade kit is actually the RX-78-2 entry grade, which I can't recommend enough. It is an unbelievably solid, incredibly fantastic kit that I highly recommend if you are looking to get into model kits, because you end up with just like a very fucking cool model kit. The other entry grades are more, I would say, for completionists than anything else. They are for people that are like, I want, like there's a Deku from My Hero Academia. It's cool that there is a model kit figure of Deku. That's just, to me, pretty fucking cool. But it's not a great figure. The stickers are annoying. It has almost no posability or move around much, and it's kind of a bummer. Most of the entry grades are like kind of fun to put together, but they don't really like pop. They're nothing like incredible about them, and that's a shame. With the exception, as I said, of the RX-78-2, which is an incredible entry grade, and where people should start if they're interested in getting into manga building. Now, I don't know much about the Hello Kitty verse, but is it true that Hello Kitty is a human girl in a cat costume? So, as far as I've been able to tell, yes, Hello Kitty is a girl who loves cats and animals, and has adopted the traits like via costume is doing this thing. That seems to be the uh like the now I'm going to hang out with cats or kids because that is what I'm up to. And that's weird. It's pretty weird. Um but also like cool. I don't know. That is way weirder than I would have imagined it would have been. You know what I mean? On the subject of My Hero Academia, I was surprised to see wearable Bakugo grenade gauntlets at Walmart the other day. See, that does not surprise me at all. Um, My Hero Academia is very popular, and so weird bullshit that probably doesn't work right, uh, available in stores, to me makes a lot of sense. Because the next movie is coming out, and that's going to have a U.S. release, and I can't tell you it's going to do great in America because the movie industry isn't doing great, but it'll still get eyes on the product. There'll be still people who are like, "Oh, I want to check that out." So this does have the ability to have the legs stand up or sit down, which is for an entry grade pretty cool, and a little surprising. But yeah, so put that there. And then we need A12. Uh, yeah, it's super popular, but it's like weird to see anime merch be that mainstream. Yeah, I mean, the real thing is that people can't wait for, like, by people I mean retailers are so excited about there being a popular anime. I fell off My Hero Academia after the 10 episodes. Should I go back? So, the important thing to know about yourself, Helter, is do you like the school-based shonen? This My Hero Academia makes itself different in several ways from other types of shonen, in that it is influenced by American superheroes, right? This is a guy that fucking the creator loves Spider-Man, and you can vibe with it. With no spoilers about future Deku bullshit. That by bullshit I mean good stuff. Um, this is the creator fucking loves Spider-Man and like Marvel shit, and you can feel it in the show. But it is still a traditional school base, like getting better at school, rivalry, being in over your head. The fact that these students, even if they want to be heroes, they are facing fucking super villains. Uh, and it's ridiculous that they are, and they should maybe like, and it's that thing of like trying hard to figure things out and goofy shenanigans, and you just get the sense that you're like, this is going to get real at any time. It is a very good example of this type of show, and I think that it's worth your time hanging out. Honestly, once the like the tournament arc happens and they start introducing other students, because we meet class 1A, but then there's some students in class 1B, and you start getting this like competition thing happening. Once we get to the tournament um arc, I really think it does pick up its pacing. Um and there's probably at least a couple characters that you will like. Like I said, uh, it's not for everybody. I happen to really enjoy it. Um, I think it does its job very well. It's the shonen I'm probably most into right now, with the exception of can't wait for Demon Slayer to come back as full, because Demon Slayer is fucking weird, man. I think I've talked about this before, but that show did the impossible. It had an episode so good that people went back to it. that's like unheard of. Because when people are talking about like, oh yeah, Demon Slayer is a phenomenon, like so many people watch it and talk about it. It's like it's so huge, and it's like, yes, it is huge, but also it wasn't always huge. Like it got a double length, and there were certainly people that really liked the show, but really people were just like, okay, well, I like the guy and the art style is cool and like the secret art techniques are like interesting to look at, but it's still pretty generic and it's like oh maybe I'm tired of like the good boy. I don't know if Demon Slayer's on Netflix right now. It might be. I can't tell you that because I don't have Netflix at the moment, but I watched it on Crunchyroll because that is how I generally consume anime is Crunchyroll and Funimation. But I'm sure that if it isn't like they're figuring that shit out. It might be. Very well might be. Um, but anyway, I was kind of like, oh, this is fine. I like the main character. I kind of like the art. I think it's cool, and many people agree with me. And then there was a fucking like episode 19 of 22 or 24. I can't remember how many episodes it is, but episode like 19 was so incredibly good that the buzz around it made people go, "Oh yeah, is that shit? Wait, is that good?" And went back to it. Like Jujutsu Kaisen, which is the latest bit because it came out last year and was very popular, was like the big last year into this year was the big shonen, the big new shonen that is doing well. And that show did well like immediately. Immediately people were like, "This is a cool show. I'm going to check this out. This looks neat. I like this main character. I like this art style. I like this world." It was like an instant hit. The music's good. The opening is great. The closing is fucking great. I'm in. But Demon Slayer like wasn't that, and it's really interesting to see it succeed so much in like not in spite of, but like in addition to. Ooh, did I miss a piece here? I did miss a piece. And we also didn't do any panel lighting. So let me put this piece on here I gotta put on, and then we'll do a little panel lighting on this. But anyway, um, a thing I kind of wanted to chat about tonight was there is a convention happening. There are obviously in this world right now there are real conventions happening, and you can go to a real live convention if that's something you want to do. Like I believe Awesome Con is happening this weekend at DC because I know a few people who are around for that. Which to me is like for me it's like oh no, I wouldn't want to be at a big con this year. Like no thanks. But for other people, it sounds great. Sorry, you're probably missing steps because I won't shut up. No, that's okay. This layout is weird. So like step two is the body, but step two went from like here to over here. So I missed this one spot over here because its layout is weird because they're trying to do like this kitty. They're trying to do the whole kitty on one thing here. I can't even show you. And then you like, and then turn it over to do the other one. So it's the layout. It's not you, Helder. Don't worry about it. But thank you for saying that. Yeah. So there's conventions out there. There are people doing things. But there's a virtual convention that I was checking out today that I was really enjoying, which is I was checking out FlameCon. FlameCon is a convention in New York City. It is a queer-focused convention that I very much enjoy and appreciate. So I was watching some panels, which was very fun. Um, there's a great panel where they get a bunch of artists to like redraw characters from X-Men, and it's very fantastic. And there's like a lot of um, great panel discussions. When it was a live event that people could go to, there was a fantastic masquerade, the cosplay, like runway thing, which was very cool. Live music. Sometimes there were fun podcasts back when there was a Polygon podcast that had like a bunch of fantastic people on it, and they did like one of their first live shows at FlameCon, which was really neat to see. It's a cool convention, but they're doing the virtual one. And it wasn't until I was watching FlameCon that I realized that we're towards the end of August, and it hit me. there's going to be a PAX in 2 weeks. There's going to be a PAX West that I won't be at, which is the first PAX West I haven't been at since 2014, 2015, maybe. I have to look it up, but it's been years since I missed a PAX, West or East, because uh, I've only been to South twice, and I've been to Unplugged. I've been to every Unplugged that's happened, but um, but yeah, I don't make it to South that often. So um, it's really weird to think that hell yeah, yeah, PAX is still happening. Yeah, there's gonna be a PAX in DC, or not sorry, in DC, in Washington State, in Seattle, in 2 weeks. There was part of me that just assumed that it was gonna get canceled, but at this point, it probably can't get canceled. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's gonna suck ass if it gets canceled for people that have spent money to be there and have made arrangements to be there and also have steeled their heart in order to be able to go there. Uh, but it's so surprising. Like I legitimately can't believe that it's happening, and I like forgotten, and it was like reminded, and I'm gonna be like, oh, that's right. In 2 weeks, I'm gonna I'm gonna watch PAX West via like hoping that my friends are in live streams, like that their panels are being streamed, and that's how I'm gonna enjoy a PAX. Like that's really weird because like PAX South, I watch panels. I've been known to do that. I think it's like fun to do to go and check that out because I have friends doing PAX South stuff like that. Um, but it's gonna be weird. It's just gonna be very strange to hear about like the show floor and like who's like I don't know who's there. Um, it's wild to hear that SummerSlam happening right now has like 50,000 attendance. Yep, completely. And I know a couple people at SummerSlam right now, and it's so bizarre to think that they're risking their safety by going. Um, are they requiring proof of vac or anything? Yes. So originally they were saying that there'd be temperature checks and they weren't going to require proof of vaccination. They changed that. Now, was that the state of Washington? Was that the city of Seattle? Was that the building? Or was it that their ticket sales were low and this was a way to encourage people to come? By like people like that, enough people were like, hey, you're not requiring vaccination. Like, what are we doing here? Um, but they are requiring proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test, which is obviously not the same thing at all. But it is better than nothing, which was what they were doing before, which was just temperature checks. Um, but like I don't know who's there. Like I know that or like who's gonna be there. Like I know Chris Straba is gonna be there. And then by extension, I know that means that my friend Casey is gonna be there. And that's it. I don't think anyone in my friend group is gonna like I don't know. Like all of the people I know, like people I know who are like they do uh the diversity lounge. I don't know anybody from that crew. I'm sure there are going to be people there, but there aren't people that I know going to be there. Like Loading Ready Run, like Giant Bomb adjacent people, the Giant Bomb like friends I have that I met through them that are like former or current moderators. Like I don't know, my friends in Seattle who live in Seattle aren't going, except for Casey and Chris. Um, I gave up on going to AEW this week. Feel like I made the right choice. Hardly any mess. Yeah, Jam. I will say the Chicago the show the Friday night show. It was nice to see people in mass like in the front row, but the majority of people just weren't masked up, and also considering that it's so soon after Lollapalooza, um, like it's just that's very dangerous. I don't think I would be in an indoor environment like a convention or a concert or anything like that. I just can't see myself doing it. Especially, obviously, indoor. Outdoor is like maybe you can argue a different story, but even then. But yeah, Jam, I think you made the right call. Even if this week is pretty cool for wrestling, specifically AEW has some cool shit going on. Um, People I know who haven't been into wrestling in a very long time were like, "Hey, so tell me about like who's cool at AEW because I'm going to tune in." And me being like, "Hey, do you remember the people that we saw at indie shows a few years ago that were really good? Yeah, they're in AEW now. Not all of them, not all of them, but like the people on the East Coast that I fell in love with in the indie scene the past like 5 to 10 years are all in AEW at this point, or they were already in WWE for a few years. So it was kind of nice to talk to people about that and be like, oh yeah, yeah, these people are doing stuff and this person's doing that. You should check this person out and oh yeah, what's going on there? I'm definitely out of the indie loop because I haven't been going to shows. Uh, I've been watching some stuff online, but yeah, it's been a pretty exciting week for wrestling. Um, okay, so this is our Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty does sit down. Hello Kitty has an apple. They can sit on, holding an apple, sitting on an apple, doing their thing. I'm glad my AEW show happened when it did because while I wore two masks, even that won't be enough to make me feel comfortable doing it now. Yes, Lashbrook. Yeah, I mean, like as I said then, that was a decision you were making, and of course I am here to respect people's decisions about what they're doing and the safety that they're taking into consideration, with the exception of if you were a viewer of mine and you are refusing to be vaccinated. I'm not interested in debating it, but I just think you're wrong and selfish and it sucks. But as far as people who are like, well, I am fully vaccinated and I am taking precautions that I feel comfortable doing, like the thing I said about PAX when it was announced, um, uh, when AEW signs Drugs Bunny, then I'll tune in. Well, there you go. Out there. Well, you got your choice. All right. Anyway, we're done with the entry grade. Now it's time to put together the real grade components here. So we're gonna have some stickers because this kitty has 0 stickers, which is cool to know. It has movability, posability, and no stickers. So this is now already an A tier entry grade compared to other entry grades. Um, this is already great. But now we got to work on a Gundam. And we're going to start with the head, not the body. We're starting with the head. We're immediately starting with a sticker, which is fine. Um, what am I going to say? Yeah, so where you go, indoor events, outdoor events, traveling, if you are a stand up and you're getting into doing shows because you have to get out and do shows because you got a family or you got bills you got to pay. If you are still doing virtual shows, if you like, some of my friends are starting to do comedy shows in New York again, and that is terrifying to me, but that is the choice they're making. And I think if I was still living in New York at this point, um, I would be, and theaters were opening, and if there was work for me to do, I would probably be doing that work, and I would be masking, and I would try to be social distancing, and I would apply, whatever I needed. After riding the subway, I would wash my hands and all that. But I think I would probably be working if the opportunity presented itself. Yeah, the Gundam has more stickers, more than I would have liked. Yes, Lashbrook. This is the amount of stickers we got here for an SD kit, or the EXSD, or whatever they want to call it, or SDAX. This has as many stickers as you would expect, because like we're gonna put a border sticker around this. This isn't gonna be 2 pieces, probably. Might be, but no, it doesn't look like it is. So like, yeah, that's frustrating, but it is what it is. All right, so we assembled that. Oh, we got to put a sticker on A2. A2. Um, but yeah, I'm sure, like I said, that given the circumstances, there'd be a world where was out there doing shows or teching shows or performing in shows. Um, but I'm just fucking scared for people. I'm scared for my friends. I'm scared for strangers. It's a weird time right now, and it's, to me, it's time for personal lockdowns more than than the government lockdowns. So it's just like people being safe and cool. But yeah, you're not going to catch me at a concert. You're not going to catch me. You'll only catch me at an outdoor, not even outdoor concert, because I'm not going to a place that has like hundreds and hundreds of people. But like, if there's an outdoor wrestling show this summer into fall, I could see myself maybe going to that. Maybe. I don't know. But I'm definitely trying to avoid businesses. I wear a mask when I go inside anywhere, even if I am the only person in my area wearing a mask into a store. Because, like, even the grocery store, the last holdout for people wearing masks is almost no one wears a mask inside of our local grocery store, uh, which is just like, yikes. Um, it's just a lot of yikes. Um, anyway, uh, we're gonna put the top of this on here. I do like that the front is plastic. This red is not a sticker, even though the back is a sticker. I appreciate that. I always appreciate that. We're gonna panel line the hell out of this. This is gonna have a lot of cool panels to put on. The nice thing about doing an SD kit is the eye sticker is really big, so it's easy to apply, which is very helpful. Now, the sticker I'm about to put on the crown here is terrible. It's the worst kind of sticker, the one that has like a bunch of cuts in it and you have to bend over the piece. I despise this style of sticker. Okay, what else do I want to tell you about? I mean, like we're talking a little bit about wrestling. Um, there was a chance. Look, there wasn't a chance that they were promoting it. There wasn't a chance in hell that CM Punk wasn't gonna show up on AEW last night. It's still cool he did. Uh, I love that he's gonna face Darby Allin. I think that's rad. I love that he made a Britt Baker reference in there. I thought that was cool. Um, there's a lot about it that I think is neat. Put eyes on a particular product that I think does well. He seems to be, I mean, presenting himself as somebody who is excited to he's excited about doing wrestling again, which is cool. I want him to be excited about wrestling as a guy that seems to love it. Okay, so how's this gonna work out here? Gonna go like this. Gonna go like that. Okay. All right. All right. And this goes like that. Then okay. All right. Um, yeah, so I'm excited for him. The whole like everybody gets ice cream thing is like, and to me that's the problem. Well, I gotta get to work. I had a fun hanging out a bit. Have a good night to you, Helter. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being in chat. As always, folks, you don't have to chat if that's something that you want to do, but it is lovely to hear from people, especially people we haven't seen before. So, or they aren't super active. That rules. So, thanks so much for hanging out. Hope to see you on another stream. Check my Twitter later. You can see the finished product photos at the end of the stream. I'll post those photos there. But yeah, thanks for coming in for a bit and have a good time at work or have a not bad time at work. However, that ends up working out for you. Um, uh, is that a bit he has or a thing he did for the show? So Lashbrook, a bit that CM Punk. The problem is is that it's a reference to his time at WWE, which, look, I understand they got to make references to those things, but it's like an annoying joke. So the thing was, in the old days, in like the 80s and into the 90s, you would have ice cream bar, like cereal, like ice cream, or not cereal, ice cream bars for wrestlers was a common thing, right? So when CM Punk was uh, like coming up and like winning the belt and making demands, like when it in real life he was thinking about not resigning, but he was going to be champion, and the storyline was that he like left and he didn't have a contract, but he had won the belt. One of his demands was that they have like bring back ice cream bars. I want a CM Punk ice cream bar, and that became like kind of like one of his like in character demands. And they did like a limited version of it. Never seen Punk wrestle. Guess I will find out why everyone is so pumped. Yeah, I mean, like, so them doing that on the first night is a little bit like uh, Cody using the sledgehammer to break the throne. It's just like referencing where you've been, more than, and sometimes those references are clever, and sometimes to me they're like, yeah, we get it. You were unhappy there, and you're happy here. Okay, cool, cool, cool. I mean, there are people who were certainly mistreated or misused that now have a chance, but I don't know. So the thing about CM Punk is, yeah, yes. So the thing about CM Punk is, he was a backyard wrestler that became an indie wrestler. He was a backyard wrestler that started doing his own indoor wrestling shows. He was part of the like Chicago, I think it's Chicago Mafia is what the CM stands for. But anyway, Punk was like a decent wrestler that became a very good indie wrestler. He was fantastic. He like made a name like this. The original. So this is the third Summer of Punk. The original Summer of Punk was a Ring of Honor storyline. He was like huge in Ring of Honor and like really well known. Um, Punk, looked like a fucking dude that should be in a band and not a wrestler. But he was skilled. He had a good move set. He had fiery promos as a babyface or a heel. He was believable in a business where an indies being believable is nowadays it is about being fun or interesting. In his day, it was about being like, are these dudes fighting for real? We know they're not, but these guys might be fighting for real. And he made a name for himself on the indies. Then he went to WWE. He floundered in many ways for a very long time there, trying to find a spot that he fit in, be it in tag teams, be it in the rebranded WWE ECW relaunch, which he did the best in because he was a guy that if ECW had existed, uh, and continued, he would have ended up in ECW, and he would have done very well in a version of ECW at some point, probably. Which is why he is a Paul Heyman guy, because Paul Heyman is like, this guy would have made me money. Um, uh, so he does some things. He has the Straight Edge Society, which is in my opinion, is his best work. Because yes, the pipe bomb, yes, the times fighting, in there. Really, the WWE Summer of Punk is the pipe bomb, and then complete terrible storytelling on the part of WWE. Um, uh, but like they just really dropped the ball. But the Straight Edge Society was CM Punk running a cult, basically. He had followers. He had the big dude in the Good Brothers, uh, Luke Gallows. Luke Gallows played played a follower. Sarah Deeb, who you may know from AEW and NWA. Sarah Deeb was like a follower. There were um, was it Mercury? Yeah, it was Joey Mercury was a follower. That's when he shaved his head. Um, they were a cult. They were the straight edge. These were people that were saved. Luke Gallows' character Festus was a very nice docile giant that when the bell rang he came alive, and it was playing up this idea that he was like slow, which is shitty. Well, they altered it. He wasn't like that. He was a drunk. That's why he was like that. And then he was saved by CM Punk. And like Sarah Deeb, like she was a plant in the audience, and she came out to shave her head to pledge allegiance, and it felt like they'd converted an audience member, and it was this like kind of cool, kind of dark thing that ran its course too fast. It was broken up too fast. He had a honestly really solid story with Jeff Hardy about addiction, where CM Punk he did the thing. He did the thing that great wrestlers can do, which he was an absolute heel while saying all the right things because the way he was saying it was shitty. But he was like, why are you cheering for Jeff Hardy? This daredevil. He's breaking his body. He's going to rehab and come and breaking out of rehab. He's hurting himself for you, the fans. Why? Why are you cheering him? Why is he a hero? I eat healthy. I'm doing all the right things, and you're booing me and cheering Jeff Hardy. Why are you all hypocrites? And he was right, but the way he was saying it was wrong. Um, if you saw Daniel Bryan's vegan champion run, where he had the like eco belts, that is a similar thing of everything Daniel Bryan was saying was right, but the way he was saying it was shitty. That is a similar thing. Yeah, his run where he like retired Jeff Hardy was incredibly strong, like a very strong performance. Um, Too. Hey, the Jaw just cheered 100 bits and won 101. Thank you much, the Jaw. Appreciate that. Ooh, this is the wrong sticker, isn't it? This is the wrong sticker. We'll just put the cap back on that sticker, put it back in there, and get sticker two. Thank you very much, the Jaw. Appreciate it. Bits and coins, always appreciated. Thank you. But yeah, Punk started the new Nexus, which was not a great storyline, but it was a storyline and kept him in story. It did culminate in or one of the things that culminated in is like an incredible run in the Royal Rumble where he had all his helpers help him out. Uh, just to be most of them to be defeated by John Cena, but whatever, that's gonna happen. Um, and he delivered the pipe bomb. He did a work shoot that people thought was real, that moved the needle in an era where nobody was moving the needle. In his like end of his run, his best run, he got people who had given up on wrestling to come back to wrestling. He and Daniel Bryan did what nobody else could do because the Shield was cool, the Shield was neat. Bray Wyatt is a fucking revelation, but Bray Wyatt didn't bring new people to wrestling. The people that brought new people to wrestling of that era is CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, and The New Day. And that's it. Yeah, there are wrestlers that are cool, and there are wrestlers that you can like tell your friends, like, oh yeah, actually, yeah, who's your favorite wrestler right now? Oh, my favorite wrestler is this person. They're like, oh, that sounds cool. But like Sami Zayn being a very good wrestler and a very entertaining heel isn't gonna get new fans in. It's gonna get like maybe lapsed fans to come check it out because they're like, oh, El Generico's doing some stuff. That's fun. But like the New Day brought in a ton of people because they were all over the place because they're gifable and they're fun and they made appearances places and they're like, and then especially for a demographic that felt and continue to feel very underserved, uh, they were just like incredible. They appealed to so many demographics, so many different kinds of people. Um, Punk brought in old wrestling fans that were like, yeah, I just don't know if wrestling's for me, and then they were like, oh, maybe wrestling's for me. There's a Roman Reigns thing that got taken kind of out of context and in some ways is wrong, in some ways is right, talking about how like New Day got me into wrestling. Yeah, I mean New Day was the entry point for a few of my friends who were like, okay, Pat, who are these dudes? What's up with these dudes? And I would be like, okay, well, here's their gimmick, and here's what they do, and they're really fun in the ring. You should check them out. And here's some other wrestlers you should check out. And hey, if you have Hulu, you could like at the time, you could watch NXT on Hulu when they did like the rebroadcast of it. And like, you don't have to get the network if you don't want it, but if you want the network, you can get that. But yeah, they were an easy entry point for some people. But the real thing is just like he was a very good wrestler. He is in the ring. He's going to be rusty in the ring. Um, and it's going to be weird. And Darby Allin's going to have to do a lot of work in their match, but that's okay because it really comes down to uh, I'm happy that seems to be happy about wrestling again, and that's cool. I'm happy for him. I'm happy that he seems happy with being back in this. In the same way that I was thrilled and continue to be thrilled about how much fucking fun Tony Schiavone is having being a wrestling announcer again, like a commentator, like a play-by-play. Like Tony Schiavone is having such a good fucking time and I'm so happy because uh, the guy got wrestling his love of wrestling broken, and to have it back is pretty great. Very happy for him. Let's see. I'm just doing some panel lining here. We're gonna put this all together real soon, and then we're gonna take a pause of the calls in about 10 minutes. Talk about ways you can support the channel. We always do that. Then we'll get back into building after that and try to get this going here. This will take a little longer than the Hello Kitty because we got to do panel lining, but we also got to do a lot of sticker applications, and those will take some time. Let's see. I can talk to you about some manga I've been reading. I've been reading. Excuse me. I'm gonna drink a little water first. So I've been reading quite a bit of manga. It's not like I'm reading like full books of like volumes. I'm just reading like free chapters of things, and then maybe if it's on a service I can get, or if it's like on sale, or if there are a couple chapters, I will like pick up a couple chapters here and there of something, and like decide if I'm going to continue. Right. So I'll give you just the overview because maybe I'm going to recommend something that you're going to be like, oh, I do want to check that out, or oh yeah, when that becomes an anime in 2 years, I'll probably watch that, but not now. Um, this is a run of stuff that the three I'm going to talk to you tonight about, one of which I liked, and two that I was like, oh, I'll never ever, like, I have no interest in ever checking anything out about this out again. Uh, so let's start with the one I liked, which is the world's strongest rear guard. Um, so this is a world where when people die, they get sent to, not all the time, but if there are an excess of souls, they get sent to a place where there are dungeons. The idea is these reincarnated souls are going to run the dungeons. There's also other people there that are not reincarnations or transfers. They're just people that live there. Um, and that's a fine enough idea. Our main dude, you pick a job class based on your skills or your interests, right? Uh, and our main guy is the rear guard, which is he's a support class. He's in the back. He is doing buffs. He's doing strategy. He's doing healing. He is, he's using his status or he's checking the status of the enemy. He's calling out when AOE's or when the thing is hurt, and giving strategy advice. And there are different kinds of rear guard. Rear guard is the type of the class, the overall class, like mage. There's specifics, but our dude is not. He's just rear guard, and people were like, "That's not a job. That's a class." He's like, "No, yeah, I'm the rear guard." So he can do a lot of stuff, including um, if his party are near him at the end of the night, he'll basically like rejuvenate them with healing. Now, I should say, the world's strongest rear guard is also, it's not dirty, but it also is like, I mean, look, it's a harem thing. He meets up with someone from the regular world, his former boss, who he had like a fine enough relationship with. She's there. There are two girls who are like high school age that are also from Japan, and then there's also like they hired a merchant who is like a girl from that world that died, or they hire a mercenary. And Basically, yeah, everybody is just like, there's a lot of girls and they're all real into him. Like immediately they're all real into him. Uh and it's fine. I've read like 3 chapters. I'll probably read more. Like I said, it's fun. I like the strategist idea, the support class idea. The guy who can't really do anything, but he is gonna do his best to like support everybody's endeavors. And I don't know, I like that. I thought it was good. Um let's see, what else have I been reading? PCT. We got more stickers to put on this. And D4. Um, Another book that I've been reading is Dungeon Seeker, and I'm going to stop reading it because I think it sucks. But here's the thing: if you're looking for a real emo, real grimdark edgelord bastard of a main character, Dungeon Seeker's the manga for you. Because this dude fucking okay. So I mean, respectfully, he did get betrayed. He was a group of like five students. He had already been bullied by them, but they were kind of rallying together. But the girl who was always nice to him betrayed him. She made a deal to save herself, and he got put in a particularly awful dungeon, the worst possible dungeon, a dungeon that no one has ever been able to clear, and it is just assumed that he died in that dungeon. Well, he didn't die. He survived, and his sole purpose in surviving is to get his revenge. There is no, perceived happy ending for him. He just wants to kill all the people that betrayed him. Uh, and it is so fucking grim dark. And I'm sure that there's some lightness to it at some points, but I'm never going to get to the point where there's lightness because I think it sucks. So that's Dungeon Seeker, and like I said, I don't think it's a good program or a good book. So I'm not gonna keep reading it. No interest in keeping that going. So I got to put this sticker on here. Goes like this. Oh, sorry, I'm going to enlarge this photo so I can look at it. And the third book that I've been reading. Uh, okay, yeah. So yeah, you can see there's some gold on these sides, and the gold is stickers, which is this is gold right here, like right around the underneath the head, and that is a sticker, which is annoying, but what they chose to do with this kit, so whatever. Um, so I gotta put these really thin stickers on here. Let's see, what other series that I want to talk to you about? Oh, Berserk of Gluttony is another grimdark book. It's less grimdark, but it's weird, and I don't know if it's I don't think it's good, but it's weird. So our main character is a dude who okay, yeah, that's right. All right. Our main character uh, has an unusual power, an unknown unusual power that doesn't activate because he's weak. He's never killed anything. He accidentally kills a already wounded person that is fleeing because he was like on guard duty, and he manages to kill that thing. And that unlocks his hidden ability, which is an overpowered ability, which is that he can grow stronger by absorbing the abilities of others when they die and their powers and their stats, which is obviously incredibly overpowered. And then he can spend that percentage of his stats to unlock incredible abilities beyond that, like one-time abilities. And he immediately meets a he's destined to find this sword, which is like one of the seven deadly sins, like another name of that, which is a talking sword that he can communicate with, which is just bizarre, obviously. But he can use that, to learn because this sword knows everything, which is again weird uh, and not great. And it's pretty generic, pretty bland, and the only interesting thing, in my opinion, is the downside of his um, the downside of his ability is that he's constantly hungry, and if he gets too hungry. He's hungry for battle. That's what he's hungry for is battle. And if he gets too hungry, then there's a chance that his ability will consume him, and he will go mad and hurt the people around him. He'll go, which is why he is the berserk of gluttony, because he could theoretically at any point go berserk, uh, which is kind of interesting. It's like I said, it's kind of an interesting book. I don't think it's handled well, but it's kind of interesting. Sorry, I gotta apply the sticker properly. I did not. So let me apply that there. Apply this here. This should really be plastic and not a sticker. Is annoying, but whatever. As I said, I didn't make this kit. I didn't design the sticker placement. I would have done it differently. I wouldn't use 3 stickers to replace a piece of plastic, but whatever. So those are the books I've been reading. The next one I'm going to be checking out is I'm going to be checking out the first chapter in um, what is it called? Oh, I will parry everything to become the greatest adventurer, which is a dude that, if I remember correctly, the world he lives in, you have to have a skill to increase your skills. And he is a dude who the only skill he really has that he's great at is parry. So he doesn't think he's good, but he can parry just about anything, which is obviously a very overpowered skill. But he does not understand that he has an overpowered skill, and he is like that. He is so strong. The fact that 10 years all he did was practice parrying because he thought that. I think the thing is that he thought that if he practiced a lot, he would like gain new skills, but he didn't. But he still didn't give up, which I think is yeah, kind of a fun idea. Uh, so I'm gonna check that out, and then I'm probably gonna check out a Returner's Magic. Should be something or other. I forget what it's called. Oh, a Returner's Magic should be special. I want to say, which is your typical like dude almost defeated a monster or like that almost saved the world and then died, uh but for some weird reason he is able to revive, and he is now and like go back in time, and now he can like fix the mistakes of the past. It's pretty typical, but I'm gonna check that out because I've heard pretty good things about it. And if you ever have recommendations of manga, you can just tell me. If you got manga or manhwa, if you're, like if you're like, oh yeah, I mean, don't have to tell me that I should be reading Solo Leveling because like I know I should be reading. I know, I know. But if you're like, oh, you want to read this thing, I'd be like, okay, you can tell me. Oh, you want to read, uh, oh, I forget the name of it. There's a manga that a friend of mine really, I think it's like the omniscient like narrator. It's like so it's very meta. It's a dude was the only person to read every chapter in like a 3,000 chapter web novel, and he read every chapter. And so because he read every chapter, he knows what to do when the book becomes real, and nobody else has read all of it to know that. But he like can remember. He actually like can remember it. Uh, and it's like a fine enough idea. I didn't really get into it. I didn't like the art style, but it's a fine little idea for a story. All right. Well, we finished the head and the chest, so we're gonna be moving on to the arms now. But first, we're gonna take a pause for the cause. I'm just gonna retweet my tweet again, see if we can get a few more friends to join us. If not, that's okay, because sometimes, whoop, let's see. So I'm going to retweet my tweet, and maybe a few more friends will decide to join us. Maybe they won't. I don't know. Um, okay. All right. I'm going to go real quick through this just because, like, there's not many of y'all here tonight, and the folks that are here should know the spiel at this point. They should know what the deal is. But hey, if you're a subscriber, you can throw the barricade leg of the site emote in the chat. Let the people know that you're a subscriber and that they should check that out because that shit's cool. Um, the jog, did some bits and coins. Bits and coins always appreciated. Becoming a subscriber always appreciated. If you're watching this later on YouTube or on VODs here, thank you very much. Appreciate the VODers, the people hanging out. But yeah, thanks for being here. This is the part where I just promote a few things. Really the 3 things that I want to promote are just the ways you can support me, which is the first one is by hanging out here and jumping into becoming a subscriber. That's huge if you want to become a subscriber. Alternatively, you could join my Patreon. patreon.com/PatBear, and you can find a link in the chat, which I put in there. Jam and Lashbrook throwing in those emotes, which I love to see. Yeah, I got a Patreon, patreon.com/PatBear, $1, $3, $5, $10 tiers. There's a bunch of different rewards you can get for each one. YouTube. Check me out on YouTube, youtube.com/PatBear. You can subscribe for free or join for money. It's $2 a month to get one video a day early. Speaking of those videos, I'm just gonna. Oh no, you know what? I'll say the Discord. I'll put the Discord in here. I have a Discord. You can subscribe to that join that for free. I post photos. It's a nice little thing. People post stuff they're working on, which rules. If you've been working on anything and you're watching this, you want to join the Discord and mention stuff there. That's cool. I have an Amazon wish list. The next thing I'll be building was bought Deanna, who watches the VODs. Shout out to Deanna watching these VODs. I hope you're enjoying it in a couple days because you work at night. Sent me a great Lego set that I'll be working on next, which I don't have access to right now, but it is this. It is the Lego 3-in-1. Was purchased off my wish list, which I'm very excited to build next. But yeah, she bought something off my Amazon wish list. You can buy something off my Amazon wish list, and I'll build it on stream. So let's put that in there. And mention a couple things. There's Lego sets, there's high grades, there's master grades, all kinds of stuff. Inexpensive kits, very expensive kits. I'm going to restock it again soon. Put some new stuff in there, try to put some new Lego stuff in there because it's nice to have options for people. But yeah, you can pick something up off there and mail it to me. I'll shoot a video and I'll build it ahead of everything else. Like I have other stuff in my backlog, but it's like, fuck that. I got to build myself a Lego set because somebody purchased it for me. And okay, a couple quick links that I want to share with you, and then we'll get back to building. Pat Bear's Anime Club, the latest episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club, my ongoing video series where I talk about anything I want to talk about in the world of anime, subject, a different subject every time. This video is me trying to get you to watch Zombieland Saga because it's one of my favorite shows. It's my first ever favorite idol show. I have one favorite idol show because I also have one idol show that I've ever liked, which is this one. Zombieland Saga fucking rules. Check it out. I hopefully make a good case in that video. And then the best of Build With Baer is this clip is just a clip of something that happened in the show. You can always hit the clip that button if you think that I've done something fun. You can always do that. I try to do that myself when there's a good clip. But from Best of Build With Baer, this is a clip where I'm explaining what my cooking streams are different, how they're different, I should say. How my cooking streams are different from traditional cooking shows. And I think it's a fun little clip. All right, so then we're going to talk about some anime. And I'm going to drink a little more water, and then we gotta build an arm. We're going to build a whole arm and a shoulder for our friend here. So we're going to talk about some anime, but I'm going to get a drink of water and then go back to this here. All right. Oh wow, I've drank way more water than I usually do on stream, but that's good. Okay, so let's work on the arm. And now I'm going to tell you about the 4 anime shows I watched since we last met on Thursday. That's right, I watched 2 shows on Friday and 2 on Saturday. The first one is Tsushima, which is just a story of a cat, like a wild cat, street cat that is adjusting to life living with other cats in a house and having an owner. And they call him Tsushima. He's like the ball, big boss cat. Hey, Lord Christian, welcome. You're here just in time for we built the Hello Kitty, and now we are working on our RX-78-2 SD. Working on the arms. And I was saying, Tsushima, the cats are maybe going to fight, and now we're introduced to Zun, who is the head cat of the house, like the oldest cat, the cat that's been there the longest. And Zun is like, hey, stop doing this. And Tsushima's like, I could learn a lot from Zun. And really, Zun is only mad because she is trying to concentrate so that she can use the litter box. And then the owner goes a big spiel about litter boxes and how cats instinctively want to scratch and they get it. You can just pop a cat down and they understand it immediately and how great that is. And then we see that there's one cat there that apparently, after 5 years, just naps in the litter box and doesn't understand, which is gross, but also kind of funny. And that's Ore or I Tsushima, which is just a fun little series that I enjoy watching. Okay, the next show we're going to be talking about is My Next Life as a Villainess. All routes lead to doom. This is the Nicole episode. Nicole, who is one of the many gentlemen who wants to or marry or be with Katerina, who's who has a champion in his sister, who was in his mind saved by Katerina, like because she was persecuted for looking different. And Katerina is the first person outside of her family that ever like truly cared about her and kind of brought her out of the shell. And while Sophia is enamored with her, she is not. She's like the only person in the harem that doesn't want to be with Katerina. She wants um, Nicole to be with her. So this is a kind of episode about him. We don't see much of him because he doesn't talk much. He's just like the quiet, uh, not brooding, but perceived to be like deep in thought dude. Um, okay, then we got D3. Anyway, apparently people are putting pressure on him to get engaged because he's like a noble and he's not engaged, which is weird. But his dad is like, don't worry about it. Just, you gotta fall in love. He's like, don't worry about these like prearranged things. But he wants to. He kind of thinks that I'm gonna have to give up. Like the girl I like is engaged to a friend of mine, and then who I've known for a very long time, and also he is like not gonna be the king, but he is one of the princes of the country. So this isn't gonna work out. So he's like, all right, let's have some marriage interviews. Let me at least see what's up. Um, and then speaking of Katerina, we see that she is hanging out with the student council, and there's some new student council members there in the second year. There's a new freshman, um, and we meet Ginger, who is trying her best to be really cold to Katerina because Ginger is like from a lower standing, so she has some distrust of, and she also is like, I don't know, she just doesn't seem like. Why is she hanging out? She's not in the student council. Who's this girl? But we get a very clear indication that Katerina maybe is being clueless as always, but at the very least, does not care. Uh, and also, we later learn that Katerina can see through it. That Ginger is just a tsundere, and she even calls her tsundere. She's like, yeah, I got you. I get you. You're cute when you get embarrassed, when you can't hide that, we can't pretend, which is fun. Um, anyway, uh, let's see. Nicole gets many marriage invitations or, to marriage interviews. Because he's like handsome, but he's also really awkward and he like does not understand. The first date he goes on, he has no concept that this girl is just like does not know how to talk to such a handsome dude that is like making direct eye contact with her. Like none of the dates go well because all he can do is compare them to Katerina and like what he does there, and he's not super interested in it. Um, but then we meet Frey, who we saw earlier, and Frey is friends with Ginger, and she does not want to get married. She had said she's not interested in marriage interviews, but she came to basically like make her parents happy. They're just like fine. And she quickly realizes, oh wait, like you do not want to be here. Um, and the problem is that Nicole doesn't know that she is in the student council because he's just like, yeah, I'm in love with somebody who already has who is already betrothed. Uh, and she's like, okay. And then we learn about Frey, and she's fun. Like we're introduced to Frey and Ginger, and they are like characters we have not seen before. They're new, but we're getting like they were kind of a little bit in a previous episode. But we're figuring out who they are, which I just think is like cool that we're kind of getting a sense of these characters and they're being introduced in an interesting way, and so I can appreciate that. Arm fell off. Okay, we got an arm done. We're doing an SD kit. These aren't going to take forever to do. So now we're just going to do the same thing, but with the other arm, nice and easy. Anyway, um, uh, basically, Frey encourages him to, hey, look, you get rejected, you get rejected, you got to try. Because also there are other, and like she knows, oh, you love Katarina. It's like there are other people that also are like haven't given up yet, and like leaving includes Mary, which is like, yeah, Mary makes it very obvious. Um, let's see. And then we find out, oh, he didn't know this. His dad and his mom was engaged to be married to somebody else, and his dad became the prime minister, so he was of enough social standing to get the marriage approved because they fell for each other, which is just lovely. Uh, so that's why he's been telling his son, like, don't worry about it. Like, find the person you're meant to be with. You can get plenty of time, which is nice. It was a well done episode. It was a good way to introduce these new characters. The preview for the next episode looks like we're going to have one of the only characters from the opening we haven't met yet, which should be interesting to see what happens there. I don't know. So that was fun. Again, I continue to say I think the first season is really well paced and really interesting. The second season, it really feels like here are more manga chapters adapted into the anime. It doesn't feel like it's telling a cohesive story in any way, shape, or form, which is a shame. I wish it was doing a better job with that, but whatever. It can't. So that's what we get instead. All right, let me get these arms going here. We're going to panel line this. Try to make it look great. Okay, remake our life. So last week was the recap episode, which was a shame, but now we're finally into episode 7 because episode 6 ended with the revelation that there was a girl claiming to be one of the roommates, Suriyuki's fiance. Sayuri showed up and was just like, "Oh yeah, I'm his fiance," and people were like, "What?" Anyway, turns out that they made like one of those childhood promises that they would get married someday, and she basically is just like, "Yep." And then also, because they live next door to each other and are both of their parents are friends, their parents are like, "Yeah, you guys should get married." So it's both a childhood promise that one person really wants and the other doesn't, and also a like oh, we're getting rated. Thank you so much, Harold, for rating. I hope your stream went well. I know that you're doing a charity stream, I believe. I hope that went great. Welcome, welcome, Harold. Thank you for the raid. Thanks for being here, my friend. Yeah. Basically, it's just like kind of an arranged marriage, and also it is. But she's definitely interested in not only get married, but also um, is interested in him giving up his dream of being a writer and coming back to town to like study medicine and do the thing he's supposed quote unquote supposed to be doing. So obviously he's opposed to that. It's a whole thing. Let's see. There's other things happening here. Basically, this is like they're working on this game that they're making in their free time. Um, uh, and then also the other thing that's happening is there's a love triangle, and unfortunately, like, look, he knew, Kyoya knew that uh, Shinoaki was interested in him. Like, he's aware of that. Now he's also aware that Nanako is also interested in him, but won't really say anything, but will say something. And he's like, "Oh no, what do I do?" Like, one of them is clearly mad that he spent Christmas Eve with the other. They all go to the shrine together, and it's like kind of put on. Uh, and mostly he's just like, "Uh-oh." So he goes and gets advice from his friend, who's like kind of in the group but isn't working on the game, who is it's fun because she's like mad. It's like, what are you talking about? He's like, look, I can't tell either of them anything because we're all working on this game and it could really mess things up. And she understands that. And she's like, you just have to be oblivious that either of them are interested in you. You just have to be very oblivious to what's happening until the game is done. And then you have to tell them if you have any feelings for them or whatever. But you have to be clueless, which is kind of funny because uh what's her name? The because Kawasagawa's advice is like, "Hey, just be clueless," which is very funny because she is tsundere and he is clueless about the fact that she's interested in him, because he can't recognize that she is tsundere, which is a fun bit of business. Um, anyway, it looks like the game might get done. Tsuruyuki gets angry at Sayuri because she brings up how, like, well, your parents would want you back, and is like, that isn't true. It's like, my father definitely did not say anything like that. She's like, no, he definitely would say. It's like, no. And so she basically like knows that this isn't gonna work. She wants to talk to Kyoya about, like, hey, convince him to come back, and he's like, no, we're doing this to help support our friend. That's not what we're doing here. Uh, and she's like, okay, well, take responsibility. Um, and it looks like we won't see her for a while. She's going to give up for now, but who knows if that will continue. Um, we're definitely heading towards like love, the love triangle and or the love diamond is definitely happening here, which is bad for trying to like make a game and then like there's also the thing of that this is a 28-year-old in an 18-year-old, close to be 19-year-old's body that he traveled 10 years in the past and like probably doesn't see himself. He sees himself as an adult. So like I don't know if this story is going to get into that. Like obviously they're 18-year-olds, but that's still a different thing. Like I don't know if he is even thinking about like that, how that is a problem, but he very much at least acknowledges that he's like I'm not trying to get involved with either of these characters, either of these people in that way, which is reasonable and smart. All right, so F and F, we need two of these, great. Um, okay, and then the last anime that I watched that came out today, one of my favorite shows this season, is How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom. Basically, there is a voiceover from Soma talking about the differences in technology between the two worlds. Like, they have a battleship, an iron battleship, but they don't have like engines to pilot it, so they use sea dragons. But in the water, only water magic works in the sea, so they can't use fire magic, so they don't have guns, which they would normally use, but they do have cannons because you need something for over the sea. So they created cannons, but they haven't created like gunpowder, or they have gunpowder, but they haven't created guns because they wouldn't need it. And it's just like those kind of things. That's just an example of the technology differences. Let's see. Okay, and then we put the foot on there. Right. Um, and yeah, it's yeah. I would say like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Um, let's see what else happens in this episode. Okay, so he's got this big road project happening here. They're connecting they got a new port city, and then they're connecting things with the roads. With the plan that they are going to uh, basically get rid of food shortages that way, and it's already taken effect. They already can get food supplies where they need it, and now they have they have some of his army working construction, which people were like surprised about, but is working out pretty well. And things are going pretty good. We get to see more of Kaide and Halbert. Halbert is the guy that kind of came over to the army to help protect his friend Kaide, who is a beast person and is doing well. She's a fox uh, woman, and yeah, so they're doing well. Um, but I do love that. One of the reasons why Soma is excited to have Halbert around is the fact that Halbert is um, Sorry. One of the reasons why I like it because Halbert is like a dude his age, and he's like, "Hey, guy talk is important. I need somebody that can like, it's like I like having a guy around that'll like let me know what's up. I think it's just a good bit of business. Um, let's see what else is happening. Okay, yeah. Guy chat is interrupted by a messenger bird coming because the Dark Elf village had a landslide, and that is where Aish is from. So they head there for a rescue effort. Um, they meet Aish's father Wooden. They search for survivors, and Soma uses his ability to find people because he can control and move objects. So he has these little wooden mice like crawl around so we can find people. Um, and there are some survivors, but some people do not survive, including um, Rob Thor, who is Aisha's uncle. His wife dies, and his kid is in serious condition. Uh, just kind of adding to the like this shit's real element to it. And the big thing in this episode is Soma kind of like takes a lot of responsibility for it. Yes, they had a good response, but a king isn't supposed to have a crisis response. A king is supposed to have plans in place. There weren't any plans for this. There wasn't a relief effort like ready to mobilize. They had to mobilize it in the moment. There wasn't. They had to improvise a lot of stuff, and he takes it really hard. Um, it seems to be a real problem. So there is a real sense that, like, heavy is the crown, and he's like had all these plans, but this is his first like disaster where it didn't quite work the way he would have liked it to. So yeah, I don't know. I think that things are quote unquote heating up here for the old realist hero for Soma, but he's still a good dude. So I'm hopeful that things will work out well for him. I have not read the manga of this. I am interested in checking it out because I do like the show quite a bit. So I would be interested in checking it out at some point because it is neat. But yeah, that's all the anime I've been watching. We got some time left. We got plenty of time left in the stream, so don't worry about that. But I want to hear from y'all. What are you watching anything? You checking anything out? I have been just kind of watching old episodes of Loading Ready Live, just like random ones that get like now that I've watched like five of them, I just get a bunch recommended to me, which is very good. Um, so I've been watching reruns of that, which has been very fun because I really enjoy those live shows and the weird improv games. Makes me nostalgic for my own improv. But yeah, that's been fun to watch. Lord Crashton says, "I'm excited to see Star Wars Visions, the animatrix for Star Wars." Yes, I've heard. I hear people are getting pumped for that. I haven't heard anything specific about it, but yeah. Um, I have been watching that. Um, Taskmaster, the official Taskmaster channel has been putting up a lot of clips, so I've been watching a lot of clips on that on YouTube, just going in, especially the seasons that I was familiar with, but I didn't watch like every moment of every episode of. So I'm probably gonna keep watching those clips because they're good. Um, I don't know if there's anything else that I'm like super doing. Star Trek Lower Deck season 2 is pretty good so far. Oh, nice. Yeah, I have not checked that out. I don't know if I watched every episode of Lower Decks. I should make sure I've watched every episode. But yeah, glad to hear that, Harold. Let's see if they're consuming any other stuff. Uh, um, LGR, aka Lazy Game Reviews. He just goes by LGR now. Or for many years he's been doing that. Put up a thing about this like tiny VGA monitor that you could actually like put in a tower, and it was meant for like servers, and it's just a cute, weird little thing. Um, uh, Last week says I should be mad, but I kind of love the trigger just said we're gonna just use Promare art style, and our main character is literally a character from Promare. Yes, but also when you put that, it's also like Promare looks very much like uh uh shit. It looks like another like old Gynex thing, because Trigger is Gynex people, or ex Gynex people. Um, but it looks like Gaia. What am I thinking of? Uh, I'm thinking of a specific show. I'm gonna look it up. I'm not looking at chat right now because I am gonna make sure that I find what I'm thinking of. It is not up to chat to tell me, and I cannot remember whatever. Gurren Lagann says Ghost. Yes, Ghost Valve going in with the Gurren Lagann, and Gurren Lagann is correct. It does have, yeah, all those characters look like the same kind of characters. Um, so yeah. Um, Lord Grashington has been rewatching Metal Gear Scanlan and just finished MGS2. Nice. Um, that was a very fun series. So hope you continue to enjoy it. Um, let's see. Uh, I'm not talking about moments to moments of Tokyo Revengers, but I'm watching Tokyo Revengers and I'm liking the second half of the first season. There's been some good fighting. I've been watching that. Uh, the best show that does it just feels weird to talk about it because it is just like characters being really earnest with one another, and then sometimes not, and then a weird mysticism. But uh, um, the Aquatope of White Sand is fucking gorgeous and beautiful, and like, yeah, there's some moments I don't love in the story. Some of the story feels very kind of one note, but I still think it's really good. It's nice to see how much fun Dan has seeing Drew get confused by MGS weirdness or finding ways to do things that he never did. Oh yeah, well that was the thing about Metal Gear. Like, there's, I mean, there are some Metal Gears where you can't. They really is holding you by the hand, but there's plenty in Metal Gear of like people in MGS5. There are people who use that like the power fist, like like the propelling fist to punch people. I never use that shit. Why would I use that? Why would I use anything besides trank guns and trank snipers? Like what? But I know that other people use them differently. So there are ways to play around it. Yeah, his excitement about the way Drew chose to play is really fun. And then Drew being like, "Okay, this is what I think is happening." Yeah, there's some really great moments in that series. Let's see. Um, I'm trying very hard to not get into Magic the Gathering because I don't got the money to get into Magic the Gathering, and I don't have room in my life for another game like that, another card game. But seeing all of the D&D stuff in Magic and having friends of mine who like both playing that with like lots of D&D shit as someone who has like kind of really gotten back into D&D pretty heavily, I'm like, oh fuck, I can't, I can't, I can't, but I want to, but I can't. I'm trying. Um, I got more D&D session tomorrow. Very excited about that. My Sunday D&D. We moved to Sunday, and it's been going great. Don't be a Rory. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I don't have room in my life to get obsessed with a game. I had a friend who was super into Magic the Gathering when it first came out, and he tried real hard to get me into it. When I moved to New York, I would hang out at a place called Newgrounds, where you could like rent table space to play tabletop games, uh, which was very fun. And I knew about it because you could get snacks there. It was a very tall building, and I would have improv rehearsal or improv class in the same building. So you just go to the fourth floor to get snacks, and then also like if you wanted to play like any card game, you could do that. Uh, but I had a group that met there for D&D, and then there were people that were always trying to get us into Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh, like actual card Yu-Gi-Oh instead of digital, which I was into for quite a few years. There was a period there, the Game Boy Advance, where every other year they would put out the World Championship Edition, which was the current rule set with all the current cards of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I got real into that because that way you didn't have to buy all the cards; you just had to play a lot to get all the cards. And I also could play it on the subway, which was very convenient for me and my lifestyle. All right, and let's go. We got this. So we'll panel line this. Gray. Yes, yeah. So I'm not gonna get into any games like Rory or Jan. I'm not looking to get into any like actual physical card games. That is not my way and not my style. But if that's your thing, hell yeah. I just know a lot of people who bought a lot of Magic cards and they don't get a chance to play them, or they bought a lot of cards digitally and it's just like, no, I'm not here for that either. Not my way or my style. That's your thing. Hell yeah, enjoy your thing. Not my thing. We got more stickers to apply. So many. We only have 3 or 4 more stickers. We only have 4 more stickers, so don't worry, we're getting there. Um, Not in a super hurry to finish this up because it's going to take a little while to get all this done. I'm not like speed racering because we also have to like combine it together. So we're not going to finish this tonight, I don't think, but we'll get close to finishing it. It's fun and fine. It's fun and fine. All right. But yeah, I'm kind of doing that. I don't. Yeah, I've had a good string of. I've been playing Hearthstone. I'm still playing it. I'm not going to stream it anymore. I don't feel comfortable doing that, but I'm still playing it on my own time. I've been playing a wild. I've been playing a big mage deck, which is a fun little deck of just making big early or mid game. Like it's one of those decks where like if it works, it's great, but sometimes you still lose. But if it doesn't work, it's just like yeah, you just insta lose. But that's been fun because it's a silly deck and it's a weird way to play mage, so I like it. Just try to have a big hand and then make big plays and big monsters out of nowhere. All right, so let's get this panel lined here, and then we can put all this together, and we get body complete on this Gundam. Well, maybe we actually have a time to do all this. Yeah, well, we can at least get the shield done. We'll see if we have time to put it all together. Otherwise, we'll just do that on Monday. Right. And put this here. This here. Oops. Yeah. I had no clue what Jan was talking about with those Keymaster machines, but those videos he showed on UPF make it look so fucked up. I have not watched that UPF, so I will have to check that out. I haven't. Yeah, so I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but I can imagine. Uh, I know a little bit about Keymaster, so I can imagine. But yeah, I'll have to check that UPF. All right, so we got a beam saber here. The last thing we got to build is the shield, and then we can put the thing together. But let's get the shield going here, which is just our remaining stickers. Our stickers combine. Okay. So let's put the 2 stickers on that we need to put on here, and then we will put we'll panel line it, and then we'll be done. They're even harder claw machines. Get the fuck out of here. No. Who needs that? Who wants that? That's awful. Claw machines are already a gimmick. We don't need harder claw machines. No thanks. All right, this is going to be an annoying sticker, so I'm going to take my time with this. Take my time with this. Take my times with it. Trying to make this look as good as we can, considering that it is just a sticker. We'll do our best with it. All we can do is our best, as always. All right, that looks okay. Doesn't have to be perfect, but yeah, I wish this was a couple layers of plastic and not just 3 stickers, or 2 stickers, I should say, or 3. 2 white stickers, and then also a gold one there. Okay. All right. And then here is our gold sticker. I got real quiet there. I apologize. And these kinds of stickers that require a lot of patience, care, are annoying. I don't disagree with you, Lord Crashington. Yeah, that is the problem with doing these SD kits, these chibi kits, is that they are they just require so many stickers. Like they're easy to assemble, except for the whole sticker part, which is frustrating. All right. Uh, I hate that shield border sticker. Totally, Lashbrook. I hate it too. I don't like the look of it, and I don't like this sticker either. Well, let's panel line it, make spruce it up a little bit. Okay, and good. There, put that there. We'll clean that up, and then our shield is done, and we'll take our gun out here as well. All right, shield done. Shield on. Then this shit is done. Okay, so we have built the EX. We have built the Hello Kitty, um, or the RX-78-2. And then we are going to, on Monday, when we stream again, we will complete the kit by making ourselves, combine the Hello Kitty Gundam uh, into one thing. Because that is going to require, well, actually, doesn't require much. Yeah, let's do it now. We got the time. Let's just do it. Let me take a photo of this because we're gonna have to mix and match some parts. So let me get a photo of this in. Okay, we got the time. Because we really only have to combine like a couple pieces here. We do have to do a little panel lining, but not much. These go on here. This comes off. Basically, we take this. Yeah, we got the time. We can go a little over if we have to. Take the head off. Ooh. Take the backpack off. Ooh, yeah, we did that. Backpack. Head and backpack off. Hello Kitty head off. Ribbon off. Uh, this on here like this. Yep, put that on. Oops. Put the new but different backpack on. Basically, the backpack that doesn't have the beam sabers on it, because got to be a little different to fit this giant head that's got to go on it. And then we have to assemble the last components, which is the big helmet. And this. That. Okay, that goes like that. And of course, we will have to. Is there a little girl piloting this Hello Kitty Gundam? You have to imagine, Lurkrush, yes, that inside the cockpit of this Gundam is a little girl that just wants to make friends. You got to imagine. All right. So then this goes together. Our big Hello Kitty helmet goes on like this, and then that goes on like that, and then we'll quickly hit this with some panel lines. Uh, and then we'll be done. I think the thing is that the Hello Kitty is really a little British girl in a costume. Yeah, I don't remember the specifics, but I do remember that, yeah, that is a girl uh, that is just in a costume that like wants to hang out with cool animals, you know. And hey, if I got the opportunity to hang out with Bats Maru, I would definitely hang out with Bats Maru, even if I had to wear a costume to fit in. You know, I'd go hang out with that cool penguin or bat. Bats Maru is a bat. There's a cool penguin as well. There's a bunch of cool ones. There's a cool frog. Lots of cool characters in the world of Hello Kitty. Alright, so we'll panel on that. We'll hit this here. Hit this like this. Go over it like that. And alright. And hit there. Alright, yeah. Cool. Clean that up and then we'll be good. Then there's that sick NES multiplayer game based on Hello Kitty. Yes, that is a good game. I have played the SNES Hello Kitty game. That is fun, yeah. Do 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 do. Yep, Sanrio picked a mascot and then made a bunch of shit like merchandise for that mascot, and then made a bunch of other shit because of that mascot, and did real well for itself. Okay, so this goes in like that. Oh, adorable. And then that goes, and there it is. There it is, folks. The Hello Kitty Gundam. And now, if you want to be real silly with it, a thing you can do is you can also make a Gundam Hello Kitty, which is very cute. So there it is. And you know what? On it, somebody look. I'm not the person that said this. Sanrio World Smash Ball. Yes, I'm not the first person to say this. But doesn't this? Maybe it's because of the apple. Maybe it's because of the arms. Doesn't this feel like this is Strong Bad wearing a Gundam mask? It just feels very Strong Bad to me. I don't know, but I'm just gonna do that. Got a big strong bad vibe. I love it. I'll take the tail. No, okay. That. I don't know. It just got a little tiny head, big body syndrome. Yes. I don't know. It's got a strong bad vibe, which I love. I just love that it has that. Yeah, I'm glad we just finished this off because it didn't really need to take that long. But let's get these close together. And there. Great. That was a very fun kit. So our next thing we're going to be building is a Lego set. We're going to start that on Monday. The space mining mech. There's a mech for mining in space. There is the transporter, which is like a skeleton. Got a bunch of legs, and then there's the giant like robot walker. They didn't give these like really good names. They're just like robot, mech, transport. And I was like, okay, but that's what we're going to build on Monday. So I'm excited about that. But also, we're done with this fun kit, which I had a great time putting together. Thank you all so much for hanging out on the stream. We are going to raid tonight. That is what we do around here. Is when a stream is over, we go and give some love to another streamer. Um, so let me get that set up. Find who we're going to go give a raid to, because I don't know. Uh, but it's going to be somebody who does good shit out there that I think rules. And again, Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern, working on a Lego set, so you can come check that out. Who is doing some stuff? How long have they been going? Oh, well, I don't even know if Ian is gonna even notice us, but it is. Oh, Corey is racing, so Corey may race us. Right now, we're gonna go raid loading ready run because it is the 24-hour Le Mans, basically just like 24 hours of just streaming racing. And right now, Corey is racing. This is an Ian project, but Le Mans time. Harold, you did mention that, yes. So we are going to check that out because that does rule, and we want to go give support to Corey. So we're please join us raid. It's people playing a racing game for 24 hours. It's mostly Ian, but he does have help, which is great. Um, uh, oh, invalid username. Oh, I messed up the thing. So raid. Nope. I'm writing the wrong word down. There we go. Loading ready run. So we're going to go raid Corey. So feel free to come along this raid. I hope you have a great rest of your night. I think this is going to be silly and fun. I will see you on the next stream on Saturday. So let's go. And everyone have a good night. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.